What is up, people of YouTube, friends, followers of KP? How's it going? So today we are going to participate in another writing challenge. So we are going to write another essay on the spot. So right now it is about 4:05 p.m. right now. And what we are going to do is we are going to smash out an essay in about an hour flat, maybe a little more, maybe a little bit less, on the aging effects of alcohol, whether or not alcohol ages you from the perspective of a college student. So anyway, without further ado, we are just going to jump right into it. So I've got my web browser right here, got my document set up over here. I've done zero research on this topic. I have no idea whether or not alcohol actually ages you or not. I would imagine that it probably does, because it's not good for you. But we're going to find out soon. We are going to write an intelligent 3-page paper in MLA format about this topic. So let's get started. So first off, does alcohol age your body? Alcohol, cell oxidation. I know a little bit about biology, and I know aging is typically caused by cell oxidation. Okay, Google one doesn't want to play nice. That's fine. Okay. Alcohol, cell, oxidation. Does alcohol age your body? Alright, cool. We got those two tabs brewing. And while that's going, we're going to go over here and we're going to write out our title. So, alcohol and the developing body. Aging and beyond. Okay, Google doesn't want to play nice here, so what's... let's see, is this gonna work? Weird. Okay. Bing. Aging and beyond. Alright, so I don't even know anything about this topic yet, but I'm just gonna start writing. There are a myriad of impacts that alcohol has on the human body, particularly those in developmental phases, those in crucial developmental phases. Effects of alcohol on the body. So alcohol is commonly seen as somewhat of a socially accepted, potentially benign means to have fun on the weekends for those in college. Research has shown that alcohol may accelerate the aging process. Now, I'm speculating, but I'm pretty sure that's what search is going to tell us. Jeez, this is taking forever. My internet, oh my goodness. All right. Alcohol, cell, oxidation. What is up with search engines today? Yahoo. God, what does the world come to? I never use Yahoo. Okay. Alright. I'm pretty sure this is actually what happens. I read a scientific report a little while ago that basically said exactly this. So, I'm pretty sure that alcohol accelerates cell oxidation. Alcohol and cell oxidation. Yahoo.com. May accelerate the aging process. So I pretty much know how this is going to look. Alright, cool. There we go. Alcohol-induced oxidative stress and cell responses. Alcohol. Cool. Drinking may not lead to an immediate death sentence. Drinking may not lead to immediately observable negative outcomes in a similar fashion that other recreational substances may. However, there is something of an undeniable link between the various Mechanisms of aging and alcohol consumption. Alcohol indubitably impacts the developing body. Alcohol indubitably impacts the developing by inducing aging at a quicker rate than those who are teetotalers. That just means people who are sober. It's yeah, just one of those words. Evident by alcohol-related oxidative stress, blah and blah. All right, guys, so I'm going to break down what we did here. So this is our hook sentence, basically saying, yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that alcohol does to the developing body. Be aware of it. And similar to an inverted triangle, we start general and then we gradually go down to exactly what we are going to say. So we've ended with our thesis, and our thesis is essentially just saying that yes, alcohol does age you, here is why. And we've listed out the 3 reasons which are going to correlate to the 3 body paragraphs that we are going to have in this essay, plus our conclusion, which will equal out to being just over 3 pages, I believe. Okay, so alcohol and aging. There we go. Okay, so I'm checking out these sources. Esco Burr House over here. Eco Sober House. Never mind. Not a super great source though. So, Alright, so we do know that it does age you prematurely due to oxidative stress. Okay, so WebMD, that's a pretty decent source. It's not necessarily a scholarly source. Huffington Post, also very solid. So we're kind of in our research phase, but you know, the research phase, in case you guys are wondering, doesn't actually have to take that long. If you're smart and efficient, you can figure it out as you go, which is how we get this stuff done in, you know, an hour flat. Okay, Healthline, all right, cool. So I'm going to say that the main reasons are alcohol-related oxidative stress, decisions made while in an impaired state, because I know that from personal experience, when you drink, sometimes you want to have a little cheeky cigarette as well, and that definitely ages you. So there's our second reason right there, comma, and boom. So I don't know what our third reason is going to be, but in 8 minutes we've come up with basically a roadmap of how this is going to look. Okay, so we found our sources, WebMD. Okay, so oxidative stress, dehydration, weakening vital organs. Where was that study on alcohol-induced oxidative stress and response? All right, cool. So to kick things off, we're going to start off with a highbrow, fancy schmancy PubMed, NCBI study. So, okay, so we have this from the abstract right here. So let's see if we can get this whole thing. Sci-hub.com. So Sci-hub is one of these places where you can get free journal articles. It bypasses paywalls. This is probably going to ask us to pay. I don't want to do that. Sci-hub.se. I believe it's a Swedish website. There we go. So you can copy and paste the reference number in here, and let's have a look to see if we can get this full article. So in the meantime, while that's going, Alright, so Sci-hub might give us that, or it may give us something else as well. Alright, cool. So, alcohol has been proven to age the body in a variety of objective biochemical fashions. One such way is increasing the rate at which a process known as cell oxidation takes place. So as I remember, oxidation of cells Cell oxidation, in layman's terms, and again, cell oxidation, oh lord. See, even in the face of little technical difficulties, we power through. So, not sure why that's happening. Doesn't matter. What matters is we're going to get this done. Oh, and it looks like Sci-Hub found this. Great. Maybe not. Okay. Cell oxidation. Involves electrons being lost from a group of atoms or a compound. A group of atoms or a compound. Without delving into the depths of biochemistry and the human body, greater rates of cell oxidation, also known as oxidative stress, are responsible for a whole host of negative health outcomes within the human body. Now we'll go over here to, according to Wu, Zai, and Xi, recent white paper, alcohol-induced oxidative stress and cell responses. Opa. There we go. Copy paste that in. That's rather long. Studies have shown that increase of liver energy, cardiovascular diseases. All right, cool. So we're under 2 lines right there. That binge drinking, shorting this up by rephrasing some stuff, is positively correlated with. Cool, so what I'm just doing here is I'm paraphrasing part of the quote so I can essentially reduce the differences that you'll observe in this person's writing style, because obviously they wrote one way, I write one way, and if you have a bunch of stuff randomly crammed in, it kind of starts to look like a big old collage as opposed to a piece that you've written yourself. All right. Chronic disease, in a manifest fashion, works to age the body based on the mechanism, based on its very mechanism of action, in addition to the obviously negative outcomes that such diseases make for. Beyond biochemical reasoning alone, beyond advanced biochemical markers alone, one must keep in mind that there are situational behaviors that will often take place while consuming alcohol that work in conjunction with oxidative stress, further increasing alcohol's propensity to age. Bang. All right, cool. So we are 1/3 of the way through in about 15 minutes. So that's awesome. So next thing we're going to say is I know people smoke more when they drink. So increase in smoking while drinking. Okay. Dirt. Increase in smoking while drinking. I'm pretty sure that this is an observable stat somewhere. Alright, cool. It is well understood that many people who are ordinarily not consumers of tobacco will partake in activities such as smoking only while under the influence. In fact, this is but one of many risk behaviors that people will engage in while drinking. Medical Daily, which looks like some crappy blog, has brought up an interesting fact and has cited a source from the National Institutes of Health. So hopefully, alright, cool. So this is a scholarly source right here, and I can find this only when they drink quote here. Only when they drink. Only. Huh, alright. So that exact quote doesn't exist here, but there's still a lot of good data. This is yet another way that alcohol works to age the human body by lowering inhibitions to engage in other risk behaviors, with tobacco being the area of focus. So for instance, the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism states that the seemingly obvious assertion that smokers drink and drinkers smoke holds true. Moreover, it is said that 80 to 95% of alcoholics also smoke, which is, and I'm going to quote this from over here, a rate that is 3 times higher than among the population as a whole. Furthermore, the two are often used in tandem with one another, as either drug may increase the desired effects of the other. Smoking has been proved to age the human body in an even more extreme fashion than does alcohol. All right, so smoking ages the body. So we're essentially proving 2 points in this paragraph that all really mean the same thing. Drinking makes you age faster because a lot of people smoke. I'm sure we all know someone who only lights up that Siggy Sig whenever they've had a few. Smoking ages the body. Consuming tobacco is perhaps one of the most socially accepted behavior patterns with deleterious impacts on one's health. Okay, all these sources are kind of basic. Healthline, pretty good. Okay, Daily Mail, that's not great, but do they cite anything here? All right, cool. So Dr. Polina Mamushina. Let's see what she has to say. So we just grab this quote from here, and we're going to try to find the actual study that it's based in. So I like this. We still got to think of our third reason, but we are 23 minutes in. So we're about to hit the halfway mark, and we're making very, very good time. So Mamushina smoking study, addictionpolicy.org, okay. Scholar. Okay. Addictionpolicy.org states that in a recent study by Dr. What was her name? Polina Mamushina. There's a Daily Mail article. Yep. With the relative concurrence of alcohol and tobacco use, it is abundantly clear that alcohol, by way of its nature of being somewhat of a gateway drug to tobacco, is guilty of aging the body in yet another fashion. The third and final way that alcohol ages the human body is remarkably simple, yet fundamentally important. Alcohol, as nearly anybody who has ever consumed the substance knows, very frequently leads to dehydration. Dehydration is one of the primary culprits behind wrinkled Deteriorated skin. One of the chief hallmarks of an aging person. And aging. Okay, let's keep going. Dehydration is thought to impact roughly 20 to 30% of the population at large, and simply refers to an imbalance in the required amount of fluids that one should have in their body at all times. Water. Fluids and electrolytes. Though there are a myriad of cultural factors that have led to what one could accurately label as something like chronic dehydration amongst the general populace, one must consider that alcohol serves as yet another layer on top of these already prevalent factors. How much water does the average American drink? Let's find out. Water does the average American drink? The average American only consumes cups of water per day when is the recommended average. Whenever one adds alcohol on top of this, I'll add in these later because I'm on a roll right now. Alcohol on top of an already likely dehydrated body, one is essentially accelerating the aging process rather significantly. Alright, cool. One is essentially accelerating the aging process rather significantly. What else? 721 words, doing good, doing good. Though one could make the argument that this is more of a societal issue than one that can be directly pinned on alcohol use, one must keep in mind that all factors must be considered when making an assertion such as one which states that alcohol accelerates aging. In essence, making an already dehydrated populace even more parched, will unfortunately decrease their youthfulness from a biochemical perspective. Okay. Alcohol is thought to be one of the most socially accepted drugs in existence. Despite its widespread use, one must not forget that it is indeed a psychoactive substance with a myriad of consequences, both major and minor. Though some may accept accelerated aging as a like a lesser of two evils, as a necessary byproduct of the social benefits that alcohol works to create. Others may be repulsed at the idea that a Friday night out that a habitual Friday night out may leave them looking older than they normally would. Should they have abstained. Tragically, alcohol, there is an undeniable link between alcohol use and premature aging, evident by way of increased oxidative stress, increased alcohol-related greater chances of partaking in risk behaviors while drinking, and simple dehydration. All right, cool. So this is more or less kind of done, but we have to now do the proofing and editing process, which is honestly pretty fast. Though despite this relatively easy to understand assertion, it goes without saying that alcohol will most certainly remain civil society's most commonly used and socially accepted drug for the foreseeable future. Okay. All right, cool. So about one line short. So I'm pretty stoked with this. So now we gotta Grammarly it. So let's do that right now. Okay, so here we are in Grammarly. It's already caught a few things because we were writing rather fast. So I always start off with correctness because correctness are typically the most important things to catch. So basic things like adding in a few commas, pluralizing, but a lot of stuff is just like changing the curly quote from the straight quote. So really not too many errors in here. Has been proved versus proven. Eliminate that word. Okay. Misplaced subordinate clause. What I always do is I will do a double read through after this to make sure there were no Grammarly false positives, but I'm pretty fast at reading these now. Okay. I like clarity because it gets rid of a bit of the unnecessary wordiness. And we'll also point out whenever you use passive voice, which is something we should always aim to get rid of whenever possible. And just eliminating some of the unnecessary wordiness that we just don't need. So Grammarly is a little godsend. And again, I use Grammarly 8 million times per day, so I can read these pretty fast, and I kind of already know what they're going to say. I don't suggest, plowing through Grammarly so quick if you're using this as a tutorial on how you should write your own paper. All right, cool. So, some passive voice. I like engagement too, because it's relatively benign in terms of what it will suggest. It just often says, hey, try using elementary as opposed to remarkably simple. So it's typically rare that engagement will give you a false positive. Okay, outcomes at such diseases. Create. Good. Cool, so love Grammarly. Right. Present tense verbs. Alright, hard to read sentence. I think I'm going to disagree with that one, because theses are often a bit longer, so I'm going to ignore Grammarly there. Okay, so that's one instance of passive voice that I just kind of like, honestly. Stylistically, passive voice, something we should always aim to get rid of. But there's some times whenever if you have a really nice sentence, I'll let some of it stay. Factors must be considered. Be repulsed. Okay. All right, cool. So I like all that. So that's our first read through. Let's simple. Okay, so that's looked pretty good. So we got all clear over here on Grammarly. I love that. All right. The sources we used. So I'm going to close that tab. All right, so this first study definitely needs cited. It's a journal article. Go back through the line, and you'll notice that everything we do here is kind of designed for efficiency, but also staying as effective as possible all the while. You know, you don't want to do things slowly but good, but you don't want to do things fast and bad either. You have to do things fast and good. And generally speaking, if things are done quickly and well, they're not going to be inexpensive. Okay, so on to our next read through, and we're going to start adding in our citations. So, particularly those in crucial developmental phases, alcohol is socially accepted. May accelerate the human aging process. Drinking. All right. And the simple fact that alcohol dehydrates the human body. Okay. In very subjective biochemical fashions. Good. One such way is increasing the rate at which a process known as cell oxidation occurs. Wu et al. All right. Accelerated rates of cell oxidation. All right, add in that. Manifestly, I like that. Situational behaviors often occur while consuming alcohol that work in conjunction with oxidating. Okay. Propensity to age. Great. Not will partake in activities such as smoking only while under the influence. Great. And that's that alcohol alert study. All right. Cool. 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 Has been proven to age the body in an even more extreme fashion than alcohol. Great. Okay, that's cool. Now we're going to take this, pop it back over here. Formatting is going to be messed up, but we will fix it. Okay, now we are at the final burn. So first thing, we're gonna make everything 12-point font. Fix our spacing on our works cited. Everything is indented properly. Aha, we have to add in this little factoid from Miller. Okay, so we've done multiple read-throughs now. We have written everything originally, cited it. It's exactly 3 pages. And now I'm going to do my final proof over right now. So you're going to watch me read this thing one more time, and then we'll be good to go. So let's do it. So alcohol and the human body. Accelerating aging. Great. I'm going to remove this. Actually, we'll keep that. Get to socialize on the weekends. Those in university. Drinking alcohol may not lead to immediately observable adverse outcomes like those of other recreational substances. However, there's an undeniable alcohol may not always lead to immediately observable adverse outcomes similar to those of other substances. However, there's an undeniable link between the various mechanisms of aging and alcohol consumption. Alcohol indubitably impacts the developing body by inducing aging at a quicker rate than those who are teetotalers, evidenced by alcohol-related oxidative stress, decisions made while in an impaired state, and the simple fact that alcohol dehydrates the human body. Great. Progressive health outcomes. We've said within the human body twice, so we're just going to zap that. Based on their mechanisms of action, in addition to the adverse. Okay. Propensity to age its users. Okay. Moreover, it said they state I'll remove furthermore there. The two exist in tandem with one another. Okay. Tobacco consumption is perhaps the most socially with blatantly though aging is often not the first that comes to mind. However, states that a recent study... Good. All right. yet fundamentally important. One should have in their body. Though a myriad of cultural factors have led to what one could accurately label as something like chronic dehydration amongst the general populace, one must consider that alcohol serves as yet another factor on top of these already prevalent, as yet another consideration, yet another culprit atop these already prevalent factors. Further, the typical American consumes only 3, not cups, glasses. Alcohol on top 2, an already likely dehydrated body, 1L accelerates, though one could make the argument that this is more of a societal issue than one attributed to alcohol abuse. One must keep in mind that all factors must be considered when making an assertion. An assertion, like one that states that alcohol accelerates aging. In essence, making an already dehydrated populace even more partial, unfortunately, decrease their usefulness from a biochemical perspective. All right. Alcohol is one of the most socially accepted drugs in existence, though it is not without its apparent shortfalls and negative side effects. Despite its widespread use, one must not forget that it is indeed a psychoactive, with myriad of major and minor consequences. Though some may accept accelerated aging as a necessary byproduct of the social benefits that alcohol works to create, may leave them looking older than they would otherwise should they have abstained. Tragically, there is an undeniable link between alcohol use and premature aging, evidenced by increased alcohol oxidative-related stress, greater chances of users partaking in risk behaviors while drinking, and simple dehydration. Drug of choice. All right, guys. So that's pretty much it. So once again, in just about an hour flat here, we have wrapped up another 3-page, about 888-word essay. Everything is cited perfectly, formatted perfectly. The argument is answered. Checked, proofed, good to go. So anyway, guys, this is the type of quality we strive for. I hope you enjoy reading this, and I hope that you've learned something by way of watching this. If anything, perhaps you've learned that this is just not something that you want to do yourself, and that's totally cool. In that case, we're here for you. My name is Tom. You can request me at any time on the website, and I would be happy to put the same level of care and attention that I have put into this work into anything that you send my way. Have a nice day, guys. See you later.